Welcome back to NFL Bets. Looking at last week, we have two contenders at 9-5. Peter and Jason with the best week, but in different ways. There was a couple games that they agreed on and missed, but the night games, Peter's Achilles heel, he was all on a roll. And I split the games. Chris had a bad week, 5-9, and our season records are below. Obviously, Jason's still in the lead, and I will say it's now all programmatically made. So, in theory, these numbers should be always right. We hope. So, did some updates to the great old spreadsheet here. So, hopefully, our record keeping is a little more on top of things. I guess let's start off with what might be a total barn burner of a Thursday night game. We've got the Saints visiting Arizona. Arizona is favored by a point somehow, and they lost Marquise Brown. They're, trading for Robbie Anderson. New Orleans is getting back some of their receivers, it seems, and also Jameis, is I think going to be available, and I think this is a New Orleans game to win, not just cover. So I'm going to go with New Orleans.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same. I picked Arizona last week, but they scored 9 points. That's not going to be good enough to to cut it. I'm going to go New Orleans.
I don't like taking the road team on Thursday night, but you got to take it. That injury to Hollywood is really not great for their offense. James Conner's health is up in the air, too. Their defense is not very good. Give me the Cardinals. Sorry, give me the Saints. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, fix that take there, bud.
I was about to say, I already put you down for New Orleans. Are you sure what you're saying?
Anyways, next up, we've got the Giants traveling to Jacksonville, where Jacksonville is a 3-point favorite. Wow. What in the world did the Giants have to do to get some respect? Man, I like what Jacksonville's doing there, but they're still way too inconsistent, and this Giants team is finding ways to win games. I'll take the Giants.
Totally agree, Peter. I was very surprised by this line. I can see how it happens. I can understand where Vegas is coming from, but Giants.
Sweep, going to Giants. I've got nothing to add. Yeah. All right, moving on to the next one. Green Bay at Washington. Green Bay still favored, 5.5 points. I guess the line's coming down, which is good. But then again, it's against Washington, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe it should be higher. I gotta be honest. I'm not gonna bet. I'm never gonna bet on this one in real life because Green Bay's just been awful. Washington's just an awful team. I think I'm gonna go Green Bay though. They have got issues, but I just really don't like this Washington team. And I think we've heard Wentz might miss some time, so I don't even know.
Yeah, he is missing time.
Yeah,
it's gonna be Heineke.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I can go with Green Bay here, and it's not with any confidence. It's just with some. I have to pick a side. Green Bay is just bad. They're bad. They are bad, just like Tampa Bay is bad. I never want to call a conference early, but I feel like if it's not the Eagles, they had an injury, to Hurts. This NFC, man, is just not great. So yeah, GB.
I also am not impressed with what the Packers are doing right now, nor the Commanders, which is why I will be taking Washington because I don't see either team winning this game by more than 3 points. So
trash plays trash, take the points. Let's go.
That's what I'm doing here.
That's a great axiom.
All right, next up we have an interesting game. This is interesting. We got Detroit coming off a bye, traveling to Dallas. Last we saw Detroit, they were stifled by the New England Patriots defense. This was after they came off a shootout at home against Seattle. Dallas, Dak Prescott might play, we've heard. If he doesn't play, the Cooper Rush experiment, I think any semblance or mirage of a quarterback controversy, which I don't think anyone ever took seriously outside of Jerry Jones, and who knows what world Jerry Jones lives in. But, I really don't know because Dallas's defense is strong. Detroit's offense has been surprising this year. Who knows what Dak's going to look like coming back. I'm going to take Detroit, but this is definitely not one that I feel strongly about. This is simply a vote of somewhat confidence in the Detroit Lions offense, especially coming off a bye. But it's definitely not one I feel confident about.
Man, am I gonna pick another another road team to cover? I'm gonna say Dak comes back and gives them a little bit of an adrenaline surge. So that's gonna be my rationale for why Dallas is able to cover, but it's not a very strong one, I'll admit.
Good matchup against that defense, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Dallas in this one too. Yeah, just I think their defense matches up way better against Detroit, and their offense too. I think can have some opportunities against a really bad Detroit defense. So yeah, I think they'll do that. Next up, we've got Atlanta at Cincinnati. Cincinnati playing at home, favored by 6 points. This was interesting. I don't know. Atlanta did have a surprising win last week against San Francisco. I don't know if they're going to get 2 in a row against the Cincinnati team that's looking a little bit better. And I think, if I recall, Cincinnati came off a loss last week against New Orleans, if I remember.
They came back.
They did come back and win that.
Yeah,
game.
they were losing that game for a while, but they did. Pull it out.
Oh man, that was one of my 9 losses last week. Yeah, I forgot about that. It was a close game. Yeah, I think Cincinnati can probably take this one. I'll pick them.
Atlanta still undefeated against the spread. Give me the Falcons.
I'm going Cincinnati too. I think they might figure something out recently after playing us, and I could see it working out for them. Next up, Tampa Bay at Carolina. Tampa Bay is a 10.5 point favorite. I just said Tampa Bay's bad. I don't know. Like, I can totally see them being able to be confident, but I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. So I'm going to take Carolina.
To me, this is exactly like last week. You had the Rams, who've looked awful, going up against a P.J. Walker-led offense. I'm not going to say P.J. Walker is Nathan Peterman bad, but he's also not that much better. As much as Tampa is still trying to figure out things, I think they can clear this spread against Carolina.
Yeah. I'm going to go Tampa too. Vegas hates Carolina. I tell you what, but 10.5 points. Yeah, but they are just such a garbage team right now. They're gonna take a while to figure things out. At this point, I think they're just gonna try and see who is actually able to be kept on this roster next year, because it seems like they're gonna blow everything up. All right, next up, Indianapolis at Tennessee, divisional matchup. Tennessee favored by 2.5 points at home. This one's interesting. Tennessee, if I recall, is actually coming off a bye. I think all my Dynasty players were out. Apparently, I've acquired so many Tennessee Dynasty players. I don't know. I think I might pick Tennessee at this one. I know Indy's been okay. Tennessee's been okay. I kind of like the home team here.
This is a really tough one. I think the Colts figured something out with their offensive line last week, and I could see them being able to continue that against the Tennessee team that I just don't know if they know who they are right now. I'll say the Colts do. I'm going to just take the points here. It's not many, but I'm going to take the points and take Indianapolis.
I liked for Tennessee, this game is at home. They're coming off the bye, and Indianapolis is coming off an emotional win from last week. Where, look, I don't know if Jacksonville's a huge division rival for them, but they did embarrass them in week 2 with a shutout. So I'll take Tennessee, given all those factors, in a game that will probably be close. Next up, we got Cleveland-Baltimore. We can already fill this one out because we did this game prediction. I think we all think the Ravens will win, but I guess I'm taking Cleveland here because I'm expecting the game to be decided by 3 points.
Yeah, this is one I might tinker with and bid up. You know what I mean? Like pick a higher spread than the actual spread they're giving to get more monies. Because I really do think this is a get-back game for the Ravens. Next up, we have the New York Jets visiting Denver. Denver is a 1.5 point favorite. Ha! New York Jets. Are you kidding me? Like, we don't know what's happening with Russ. Maybe that's a bonus for them at this point. I don't know. I doubt it. Like, but I like the Jets here a lot. I think they're going to win this game.
Jets, Jets. Yeah, New York.
The offensive struggles for the Broncos have overshadowed how good this defense has actually been really good this year. So I think that does make it difficult. You're traveling on the road, but the Jets defense has also come alive recently. They're forcing turnovers, and there's enough skill positions on that offense that I think this game is going to be close, and that spread indicates that. And I'll take the Jets. The Broncos are not in a good spot right now. All right, next up, another team coming off the bye, the Las Vegas Raiders will be hosting the Houston Texans. Oh, who are also coming off a bye. There you go. Vegas is a 7-point favorite. Like Atlanta, Houston's not 100% against the spread, but they've been keeping games closer than Vegas thinks they will. So I don't know if I think Houston wins this game, but I think they'll cover.
Two teams coming off bye playing one another. One idea, consider having them playing the Thursday night game so that we don't have to have these short weeks for the teams. Okay, next, Houston. Yeah, Houston will cover this, and they might even win because the Raiders are really, really bad at laying up points in the passing game, and I think that means it's going to be a little bit higher scoring, and I think it means it will be a little closer than 7 points.
Yeah, this one's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, Houston has kept games close, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll pick Vegas on this one. This will be my one pick that I'm hoping it's going to get me a win, get me a little bit closer. Because I don't know if you guys are looking at the scores below. I'm like 10 points down. So
I mean,
I gotta
we're all
separate
getting lapped
myself.
by Jason.
I know, but I gotta separate myself, and I don't feel good enough about Houston to pick there. All right, but next up we got Kansas City at San Francisco. KC favored by 3. Both really good teams. I'll pick KC here though because of I don't know. I could see San Francisco maybe bouncing back, but KC's rolling. I'm gonna pick them.
I'm not sure what happened to San Francisco against Atlanta, but sometimes we do see these West Coast teams come East Coast. They have to play at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and they're just flat. That it happens. That happened with the Ravens last year against the Chargers. And I still really like what the 49ers are doing on defense, and the Kansas City's doing really well right now too. But I just think that they're eventually really only having Kelsey as the receiving option that you can trust in every situation. Not to say that their receiving options, aren't good, because we're seeing some life from MVS and Juju. It's just inconsistent. Give me San Francisco here.
Yeah, what was the analogy? Man, pick not Lazard, MVS, and zone pick Juju as the one who's going to go off.
Something like that.
Yeah. Next game is interesting. We have the Seahawks visiting the Chargers. The Chargers are a 6.5-point favorite. Man, this is a tough one, but I think we're all going to maybe be in alignment. I'm going with the Seahawks to cover because the Chargers have not been putting anyone away this season. They just haven't shown a killer instinct. So Seattle's been overachieving, quote unquote. Maybe they're just achieving, but I think they're going to be good.
I think the Chargers are pretenders. This is the second year in a row we're seeing them inconsistent. They're fumbling away games they should be winning easily. Very well could have gone 0-2 the past 2 weeks. It's too big a spread for them. I'll take Seattle.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think we'll do a Seattle sweep here. All right, next up, I guess this is a Sunday night game. Pittsburgh at Miami. I feel like I could think of a better Sunday night matchup for than this. Not the best choice. Gosh, man. Pittsburgh did win this week, right? They won? They came back?
Yep. Yep, I called it. Yep, they beat Tampa.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I double checked everything after that. I saw it in the sheet already labeled. And I was like, they won that game? Sure enough.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, man, this is the new Thursday night game. I don't like either of these teams. I mean, do we know at this point if Bridgewater or Tua, are they going to be back?
Tua, I think.
Tua will
Sounds
be back?
like Tua.
Well, guess what? I don't think we know the Steelers quarterback. Oh, wait, is Tua expected to be back?
I do believe it's Tua, and I also think that it's going to be Trubisky.
Okay, if Tua's back, all right, Miami. Because, yeah, if it wasn't, I legitimately would not know who to pick.
Yeah, I'm going with Miami, actually, pretty confidently, because I think Pittsburgh's just going to be bad.
It's a really tough one. I agree that Miami will win. The spread is questionable. It all depends on Tua's health, which is making it tough to call right now on Tuesday night. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh right now to cover. But I think at the end of the week, I might feel differently.
Yeah.
I could buy that.
All right. So if you didn't like that game, well, you're really going to hate the Monday night game, which is so this Monday. Everyone, this is the time to catch up on your sleep, whether or not you watch the game. Because if you choose to stay up and watch it, you're going to fall asleep in your couch within 5 minutes. You got Chicago at New England. New England is an 8-point favorite. I don't care who's quarterbacking for the Patriots. Their defense is good enough; it doesn't matter. And Chicago's offense, while not quite as atrocious as they started out the season, they're still not great. I think that's plenty fine of a spread for New England to cover, and I'll take them.
Chicago's very frustrating. They run a stupid offense, which is they have at quarterback, and I don't think they're going to maybe figure that out this game. Also, it's really hard to pick against Belichick despite 8 points. I really want to go with Chicago, but I feel like I'm just going to say New England and be sad about it.
I kind of agree with you, Alec. Oh, man. Yeah, I would want to say Chicago and, because, this season's just been weird, It's just all these middling teams and teams that are ahead just don't really seem like they're as good as they are. But Chicago, they're not the team to plant the flag on right now. New England.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. Leave your picks in the comments. Curious to see what Jason has to say about all of this. And we'll be back next week to see how we did.